Hi everyone who's watching. Luisa here, very kindly agreed to do a testimonial after her 16-week transformation program. So just going to get her thoughts on how she found everything. Luisa, welcome, welcome. Thank you for doing this.
Hello, no worries.
Awesome. So we'll start off with, I just want to get an understanding of what were you hoping to kind of achieve when joining the 16-week program?
So basically, before I had started, I had already kind of had an on and off relationship with exercise, and I think maybe the last 3 to 4 years have been pretty solid in terms of I've been doing something physical activity wise. In 2023, early 2023, just before I turned 30, I said I wanted to change my life and be, more fitness, more active, which I did, and I loved. I think it just came to a point where I was like, I don't have any particular goals or structure within, fitness. And I was like, I feel like I obviously need more guidance here and more knowledge. And I could either go about it myself, but I'm not going to become a PT. And I'm not, sometimes it's convenience, having someone teach you. So that's what I was essentially kind of looking for to kind of unlock the next level within what I was already doing. I was ready.
Okay, and what were your goals? So in terms of maybe aesthetics or performance-wise, what were you?
I think it started off with kind of wanting to lose weight when
Hmm.
I did it in early 23 and wanting to look like my best self, essentially. But then when I started doing calisthenics, I really fell in love with like the whole, it's almost like a street gymnast. And the skills and the finesse and the strength was amazing. And I couldn't even do one pull up when I started, which was highly embarrassing. You got to start somewhere, right? So I thought to myself, okay, a year in, which is when I started talking to you, I could do at least one pull up, but it was very like, yeah, it was barely like a pull up. I could do it, but it was after that I couldn't do anything else. And I was stuck there for a while. And of course, if I don't end up giving my first pull up within calisthenics, that's like your foundation. Like you need that and then some to be able to perform better. So I was like, okay, so obviously I need to practice more, but I was like, on top of that, I need more body strength. I need a better diet to all encompass with my skills and eventually start doing levers, skin the cats and all of that stuff, which nobody will understand, but yeah.
I don't even know what a skin the cat is. But
Shame on you because you've seen my videos.
I probably know it by visual, but yeah, just for context for anyone watching. So, um, I don't do the calisthenics with you, right? Do you want to tell people what you do outside of what we've done, and then I can fill them in with what we do as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so calisthenics is essentially kind of like your foundational body strength workout. So it's a lot of push-ups, a lot of pull-ups, a lot of dips. And then on top of that, calisthenics people tend to do a lot of skills, which involves things like planches, levers, like I said before, skin the cat, handstands, they do shoulder stands, they use parallettes as well, if anybody's familiar with that. So it's essentially a lot of body balance, a lot of control, a lot of core strength, a lot of upper body strength.
Yeah, cool. And how many times a week were you doing that?
1 to 2 times depending on what I had on, but I would try to keep to two.
Nice. Anything else you were doing outside of what we were done?
I did a lot of reformer Pilates and I also did go to the gym, but the thing is with gym is I would go more to classes out of convenience, kind of like not having to go in when it was really full. Like I'd go in at lunch and do class and like body weight class. The problem, sorry, not body weight, like tone or pump, which is essentially using weights. But the thing with those classes is it's so many reps and it's like almost like a circuit that you don't really get to kind of lift heavy and essentially work on that kind of like muscle group continuously. So it's very like, how do you say, not consistent results. It's kind of like, you
Agreed.
know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think those kind of gym exercise classes that use weights are great to like be active, get exposure to some weights, have, someone there to kind of monitor your technique, but that, you definitely can't progress massively with any one lift or anything.
Yeah.
So then you started the program, and what we covered the four pillars of health, right? So weight training, exercise, nutrition, sleep, and mindfulness tasks. And the goal, we look to do body recomposition. So nutrition was huge. How did you find the nutrition aspect with us?
At first, when I got your meal plans, it was a bit overwhelming
Yeah.
because I'm not used to doing such a big shop and like I guess I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a very convenience based person. So again, I used to always go for like the quick meals, things that I could just like go and grab at Sainsbury's, M&S, Waitrose, just quickly make them and boom, that was it. Again, back then I didn't really know how to eat, do mindful eating, or what to particularly look for in nutrition. So with your meal plans, obviously, whilst I was like taking all of it in, it was very good to see, what kind of products were being used. Because now, even without the meal plans, I still use a lot of those kind of core products, the ones with the, nutrients, the proteins, the good carbs, the good fats. So I'd say I built a very strong foundation in kind of knowing how to fuel my body adequately for what I'm doing right now, which is amazing because I didn't know how to do that before.
Amazing. Good. Yeah, and so just again for anyone else watching, we go through a first phase of using meal plans. That's great because it gives people structure when they don't know what to buy, and how to prepare healthy meals. It gives you full kind of recipes. But then eventually we move away from that because we don't want people depending on a meal plan forever. And so you do more tracking, and then eventually, once you're not kind of worried about moving in any direction in terms of whether you want to gain weight or lose weight, you want to go off of tracking as well. So yeah, I mean that all kind of builds the groundwork and foundations for you to be able to do that properly without messing things up. I have been working on trying to, because I mean, everyone's so different, right? In terms of their time and I guess what they want and need from, say, for example, the nutritional aspect. And some people really like the detailed and I guess variations that come with the meal plans. But I'm trying to work on a lot simpler meal plans because yeah, sometimes because they're quite good recipes. They're not like simple gym bro kind of meals where like they're super basic, and therefore with that comes more ingredients and whatnot. But for some people, it's better to just keep it simple. So yeah, I am going to be working on that a little bit more to offer simpler.
No, but for sure, like don't get it twisted. The meals were still very like tasty, and I had definitely had my favorites and my not so much favorites, but definitely, yeah.
But yeah, but then we always refined and removed things that you didn't like, right? You didn't have to
Yeah,
spend
yeah, 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 of
on
course.
it. Awesome, cool. Um, so yeah, so what was it that you feel like was missing then in order to achieve your goal before we started?
It was definitely structure. It was knowledge. So knowledge and like I said, kind of fueling my body in the right way in order to enhance muscle growth, in order to enhance my energy, in order to shed that weight that I needed and build the muscle in order to then be able to build my foundations when it came to calisthenics. And even with weight training, it's like made me significantly stronger. And now I can do 5 pull-ups body weight, and that's like incredible for me. Yeah. Yeah. I can do a lot of high bar skills as well, which I couldn't do before. I can do toast to bar, like a lot of I've unlocked a lot in calisthenics thanks to the program. I reckon
Yeah,
it's worked very well.
amazing, amazing. And again, just so people understand, I have a range of different clients, right? Luisa, I would say falls into, so I like to kind of put them on a spectrum. So you got one end who are like classified, your more fitness fanatic people who just live and breathe it, and they can spend more time, they have the time and the desire to spend more time working out and whatnot. And then you've got loads of people in between, right to the other end, which are people who are a lot more strapped for time, or they're just not intrinsically as motivated to exercise. And so we make it fit regardless of where you are on that spectrum. We achieve amazing results even with people who have very, very little time, as little as 2 to 3 sessions a week. But yeah, Melusa's one of those kind of type A personalities when it comes to this, and just executed extremely well, and that just showed with the results, and it just made everything just flowed really well, which was awesome. What did you find? What did you kind of what aspects of my coaching did you find most effective? What did you enjoy most?
I would say with me is when I started, I know that I didn't reach out to you a lot. To be honest, I probably still don't reach out to you a lot. You had to be on top of me, but as it's really good. Like I like your proactivity and the fact that you're constantly kind of keeping tabs because sometimes there might have been things that I wouldn't probably have reached out to you before, and because I'm very on like, I get on with it. I just take it and I go and I just follow whatever I need to. But also when we went through like our weekly calls and we review our workouts, like you always critique me in ways that annoys me, but I know that it's necessary because in my head I can do it all and I'm fine. But you're like, no, I'm nitpicking here, but and it's fine. It's fine. Like it's great to know how to do things in the best form. And also, it's important because I need to avoid injuries. I don't want to be injured and have to, be out for months from what I love doing, because that's very depressing.
Yeah, it is. It's hard.
And also just in terms of like, weights and stuff, when you see my progress and you're like, are you sure this is the max you can do? Because I feel like you can do more. And I'll be like, really? But again, I'd go and I'd do it and I'd be like, fuck, Dylan was right. So, there was many things that you kind of knew what you were doing in it, and I'd probably kind of question it. But again, because I know you know more than me here, I'd obviously listen to you and you'd prove yourself right.
But yeah, for anyone, like a lot of the time, people, when they are finding out about online coaching, they think, but one of the key aspects is I want to make sure that I'm doing things safe and properly in terms of the lifts. And so one way that we cover that is through video analysis, right? So I'll get Luisa to record, let's say, one exercise out of a whole day, where she might have 8 or 9 exercises, and then she'll send it over through WhatsApp or whatever. And then on our weekly coaching calls, we'll review the videos. How did you find those reviews, and did you find that approach effective? I mean, you kind of just said that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like recording myself, but that's just like a personal thing, right? And however, it is a really good thing because now I get to look back on a lot of these and it's a bit more sentimental now. But yeah, whenever you'd correct my form, it did make a difference. Like I said, like at first I'd be like, I'd be cynical about it. But then when I do it, I'd be like, okay, yeah, Dylan knows what he's talking about, So begrudgingly I'd do it, but I knew that there was a reason for it and that it would be in my best interest, especially because you didn't want me getting injured. So
Yeah, exactly. No, and it's just that it's just to kind of show that like that video analysis way of doing the technique reviews. It surprised me, but it works. It works really well, which is great. And so yeah. So for anyone who's kind of newer, we there's so many different exercises, and some are more technically advanced than others. And so if you are very much new, we pick exercises that are easier to do, and we slowly build your repertoire in terms of what you can do and what you're exposed to as you get better. And so yeah, so that's kind of what we did there. Um, how have people noticed, or has anyone kind of said anything about your transformation or differences they've seen?
yeah, my friends, what do they call me? They call me. They gave me a name, but basically, whenever they see me, they're like, Miss No Waste. That's it. They're like, no waste, you're snatched. They're like, wow, like how can I be like you? And I tell them obviously, like, contact them, but whether they're ready is another story. But I feel like my friends have definitely seen me embrace fitness. And I guess since before they knew I was serious. But I think when I started the program, they kind of thought, okay, wow, like Louise is now kind of taken those steps to become like even better. And now they kind of see me as like almost like a pro, even though I'm not. They see me as someone that
I'd say you're definitely getting there. You're
that's the
definitely.
dream. We're working on it. We're working on it. We are working on it still. But yeah, I think my friends think that I embody what it is to kind of like be someone that's about fitness and keeping active and enjoying your life through it, because not everybody enjoys it the way I do it, but it really keeps me like having, I don't know, it makes me feel alive. Not many people understand, but I love it.
But it wasn't, and I don't think you'll mind me sharing because you kind of, you shared it on social media, but like it wasn't always the case, right? Because you've had an incredible transformation, not just with me, but like over the last, what's it been, a year or two? Or has it been more than?
Okay, so I was 101 kilos at the age of 17, 18. And that was, I guess, I thought that I could eat like everybody else. And obviously, genetics doesn't help. It's not saying that I was big because of genetics, but because of the fact that I ate the way I ate, my genetics definitely didn't help. And I gained a lot of weight. I then, like, kind of decided to join a gym. But this was like I said, it's more like, trial and error. I used to go to the gym 2 hours, 5 days a week. I cut down carbs like ridiculously, which wasn't great, and I had a lot of like lean meats with like vegetables and stuff, and I would cut out strictly like desserts. I wouldn't even eat bread, and I think that was a very bad approach because I was very miserable. I mean, it got me to lose what, like 30 kilos, but then after that it was you kind of come out to a period where you're burnt out, so you start to eat again in a certain way and you gain weight and you fluctuate. So from I would say early 20s till 29, I was always up and down in weight. So I think I got back to like about 82 to 83 at some point. And then I went back down to 75. Then I went down to 69 last year, but I was a vegetarian and my eating habits were terrible. So that obviously didn't help. And I think when obviously we started the program, I was 75 or 74.5-ish between those two. So I think at this point I was eating better, but obviously not in the right way in order to be lean and muscular, but more, fat and muscle, I guess. So I think these last 4 to 5 months, I've really locked in on how to build muscle and burn fat, essentially body recomp. So it's been a very, very long journey, but yeah.
And so yeah, so you within the 16 weeks, we lost roughly 10 kg, right? That, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, 10 kg.
and then 10 centimeters from the waist as well, right? So incredible. And now we're continuing to work past the 16 weeks, and we're in a refeed, and yeah. So what's your goal now moving forward for anyone watching?
So we're doing bulk together, me and Dylan. And what's going to happen here is I'm going to become muscular, but lean muscular. Obviously not like competition type, but to the point where I just kind of want to see more volume in my body because I have gone very lean. I just kind of want to fill out, the gaps a little bit. And yeah, and essentially I like being a curvy woman. I don't want to be stick thin, but I still want to be strong. And that's essentially the goal. To, build volume in my muscles, keep fat at a minimum where possible, and yeah, to keep the strength going.
Exactly. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a very lean bulk because it can not look very nice when people try to do certain bulks, and so that's what we'll be doing. Cool. If you could summarize the coaching that we went through in a sentence, how would you summarize it?
I would say this coaching has been transformative and it's definitely seeped into many areas of my life and it's had a really positive impact on my character.
Yeah, amazing. So good to hear. Awesome. Thank you again for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it's going to help anyone kind of watching, thinking about whether it would be a good fit for them. So again, thank you.
Definitely a good fit. It's a great fit for anybody.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Lisa.
No worries. Thank you.